Hello students, whenever we are browsing through the internet, many of the times we come across various different forms like registration forms, sign up pages, and even when we are ordering some food, when we are booking movie tickets, that time also we see there are various forms that are present on the web page. These forms are used to take input from the user. In today's class, we are going to learn how we can create these forms in HTML. Forms in HTML is used to accept input. A form is created by using form tag and it closes with /form. Thus, in between the opening and closing of the form, we have to use different elements of the form to create the form. Form has three elements. The first one is input tag. Input tag is standalone tag. This means it has no closing. Input tag is used to create different type of controls on the web page. Next is text area tag. Text area is a paired tag. It has a closing also. Text area tag is used to create multi-line text box. The last one is select. Select is also a paired tag. It has a closing also. Select tag is used to create drop-down lists. With the select tag, we have to use option tag also. Students, we are going to learn all these elements individually. But before that, we have to learn some attributes of form tag. Form tag has three attributes. The first one is name. Name attribute takes value as any text. It is going to specify the name of the form. In short, this will indicate to the browser that this form has a particular name. The next attribute is action. Action attribute is going to take name of the file. This will indicate when the user clicks on submit button, all the values that the user has input should be sent to the particular file that is specified with action attribute. The last attribute is method. Method attribute has two values, get and post. Students, action and method attribute we are going to cover later with the program. Now, let us have a look at input tag. Input tag is used to take input from the user. It has no closing tag. Attributes of input tag. The first attribute is type. Type attribute indicates different type of form objects. In a form, we can create different form objects like a text box, a radio button, checkboxes, button. Now all these different form objects can be created by using different values of type attribute. Type attribute has values as text, password, radio, checkbox, button, reset and stop it. Again students, all these values we are going to understand with the example. The next attribute is name. Name attribute assigns a name to the text box. It can take value as any text. It is going to indicate the browser that this particular text box has a particular name. Next attribute is max length. Max length is going to take value as a number. It is going to specify maximum number of allowed characters. Next attribute is size. Size attribute takes value as a number. It is going to specify width of the text box. The next attribute is checked. Checked attribute is used with radio button and checkboxes. It cannot be used with type, password, button, submit or reset. Checked attribute is going to specify the default selection for radio button and checkboxes. The last attribute is value. Value attribute is going to take any text. Whenever we are using the text box, submit button, reset button, it is going to specify the value in the text box. But when we are using checkboxes and radio button, it is going to specify the value which will be submitted to the server. Students, we are going to understand attributes with the example. Students, you can see this is the notepad file, and alongside we have the browser which is executing the notepad file. Let us have a look at the program. First statement, doctype HTML, head, title. The title specified is form and it is displayed in the browser. The head section closes, body section starts, h1 form/h1. Here, form is written in between h1, thus it is displayed as a heading. After the heading, we start form. Here we have used attribute name equal to f1. Students, you can use different names also, like my page, my form, form 1. Different text values can be used. However, in the browser, the name will nowhere be displayed. It will just indicate to the browser the form has name as F1. Next, enter name. Enter name is written without any tag, thus it is displayed on the page as it is. After that, we have written input type equal to text. As we have written input type equal to text, we are getting a single line text box so that we can enter some text. After that, form closes, body closes and HTML closes. So here we can write any text that we need. So this is how a text box works. Students, the other attributes of form, that is action and method, we are going to study later. Now we are going to study attributes of input tag. The first attribute is type. Type equal to text. The remaining values of type we are going to study one by one. Now here, next attribute is name. Name equal to T1. Students, you can assign any name for the text box. Let us save this. When we use name, it is just an indication to the browser this text box has name as T1. It is not going to make any difference on the screen. And again, you can write any text over here. Next attribute is size attribute. Size equal to 50. I am purposely using a bigger number so that the difference is visible. The size attribute will change width of the text box. Save and refresh. We can observe the width has increased. However, the work of the text box will not change. We can enter any single line text in the box. Next attribute is max length. Max length is going to specify maximum number of characters that are allowed. Here, let us enter 8. This means user will be allowed to enter only 8 characters, not more than that. So let us try that. Here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I am pressing 9 repeatedly from the keyboard, but it is not getting displayed because only 8 characters are allowed. Now we come to the last attribute, that is value. Value equal to any text. Now the text which you are writing in the double quotes will be displayed inside the text box. So file, save, refresh, your name. This value will be displayed inside the text box. This will be the default value of the text box. Students, I hope you have understood the different attributes of input type. Next, we are going to study different values which are used for type attribute. Students, this is the second type, password. Let us see how does this work. So we will start now from the body tag. Body tag H1 form, this is the heading. Form starts. Now here name attribute is not mandatory. We can skip that attribute also. Enter username. So it is printed on the page as it is. Input type equal to text. Thus we get a text box. BR for new line characters. It is going to work as an enter key. Next, enter password written as it is. Input type equal to password. When we use input type as password, this is also going to create a single line text box. But let us see what is the difference. Here we are entering the text. Now this text is displayed. When we enter text in the password, that text will not be displayed. Only we can see a special character. In this case, we can see bullets. Thus, whenever we want to use that the characters must be hidden, we have to use input type equal to password. The other attributes, that is size, max length, value, name, can be used with this particular type.